Welcome to the MYBcast, a podcast devoted to exploring alternatives for self-care through somatic touch therapies of all sorts. We are fascinated with the mind-body connection, and so are the people we talk with. Today, we are continuing our series Seeds. Seeds is a podcast about a set of somatic touch principles that we call somatic mindfulness. When we integrate these principles in our work, what are we experiencing? What happens for different therapists who embody these principles? What changes in their practices and in their lives? In Seeds, we talk with members of our growing somatic mindfulness community. How are they adapting attuned touch to their work, and how are their clients responding? Seeds is for anyone interested in somatic mindfulness and what it can do for them. What's so beautiful about somatic mindfulness is that it recognizes the student in all of us, exploring, studying, and developing this work that we love. The journey is a rich one that allows us to develop ourselves by simply being with our clients. I'm Madalena Ferrara, and I'm here with my co-host, Richard Mack. We're both masters of somatic movement therapy and education, as well as teachers of somatic mindfulness. We're co-founders of MYB, a successful somatic therapy clinic in Cedar Grove, New Jersey. Today, we are excited to talk with our guest, Amy Cunningham, and learn about what somatic mindfulness means to her and how it's impacting her work and her life.
Welcome to the show, Amy. How are you today?
Good. Hi, I'm Amy, but yeah, how are you guys doing?
Just doing great. We're doing great. We're so happy to have you here. And you're calling in from the Albany, New York area. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. I'm in Del Mar, New York right now, so yeah.
Great. Great. Wonderful. So I'm going to turn it over to Madalena and just we'll start the interview.
So, Amy, we always start with basically the same question. We ask our guests to talk a little bit about how they would describe somatic mindfulness. And you've been in at least a couple somatic mindfulness workshops, right?
Yes.
Do you remember how many?
Um, I started coming, my first one was a year ago. You guys came up to Albany, for like a 2-day class or 2 days, and then then like 6 months later, I went to New Jersey for 4 days. And then a few weeks ago, when you guys were back in Albany, I did 2 more days.
Okay, so
So
you've done
I don't
quite a
know,
bit.
like, yeah, I don't like maybe 8 days now, maybe.
Okay. So that's a good level of familiarity to be able to kind of think about what is this work and in what way, how do you define it for yourself? How do you explain it to your clients? What does it mean to you? What does somatic mindfulness mean to you?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the meaning has changed for me throughout like this year of taking classes and learning more about it. And it's really become, it's like, it's become so transformative in my own life that it's like becomes almost like I can't not do it. So but it like to me, it's like, it's hard. It's even like hard to put words to it because it can be like so subjective, but so like abstract in a way. But, um, but like, but it's just like for me personally, it's been so transformative, and
So,
it's like beautiful work. It's hard to put words to it
Mhm.
in a way, but like, if you do put words to it, it's like it's like such deep body work that I feel like you're communicating to like the nervous system, to like the body. And it's just like allows the body to like feel safe and feel like connected back to itself, that
Mm.
like the possibilities are endless, but it's like
Mhm.
it's very healing work. um and yeah, it's very healing work. And I feel like it's very like, especially in like the massage community, I feel like it's like would be like a very like revolutionary style of work. Like once it catches on, like I feel like it can like change what massage therapy is. um because it just brings like a whole entire new like dynamic and dimension to it that you just don't get um without it. But yeah.
So
So let me
go
ask
ahead,
you,
Ray.
what drew you to somatic mindfulness? How did you find out about it? And what made you decide this is something I want to try?
Yeah, so I had just read the book The Body Keeps Score,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
they talked about the like Traeger work, and I was like, wait a second, like I feel like that's what like it drew me to. I was like, wait, what's that? I have to know about that. Like that feels like where I'm supposed to go. Like I feel like I even need that for myself. And but I also needed continuing education credit. So I went on the CNW website and I was looking through the classes, and then I saw like somatic mindfulness, and then I read about it and I was like, oh my goodness, this is like a really weird coincidence that I just finished this book and now this class is like available in a month. Um, so I signed up for the class and I took it, and the first day or the second day, what like kind of clicked, and I was like, oh my goodness, like what happened? So I came into class with like shoulder and neck pain, which is like chronic or has used to be chronic. And we were doing kind of like the rhythmic, like playing with the arm. And I was like very like, I don't want this person touching my arm. Not like, my arm was like, is very protective, very guarding, like, we don't know about this. So Fernando came over and just like just held up like just put pressure, just held up my shoulder. And like oh my goodness, I almost started crying because I was like, oh my, like in the split second, there was like, like my body was like, wait a second, like it was like an invitation, like we can feel safe again. Like what? Like all he did was touch my shoulder, and I had this like this realization, this release of like, wait a second, we can feel safe again. That means I don't feel safe. And I had no
Mm-hmm.
idea how like disconnected and how unsafe I felt in my own body until he just touched my shoulder. And I was like, that's so crazy. But the pain in my shoulder went away.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I got to know more about this.
And so you came down the path of going through class after class. That's
Yeah.
that's really awesome. So in exploring this work, what has changed in your professional life?
Yeah, so once I started like kind of just like putting the principles into my work and just kind of throwing it in and um applying the principles, like clients started like is things started changing, where like you'd get, like for example, like you'd get a client that maybe they had a hard time relaxing or coming, like so they would want to talk the whole time on the table. But then once I started like applying these principles to the work, they started relaxing. And when they got off the table, they'd be like, "Oh my goodness, I feel refreshed. I didn't know that's what I needed." Um, so, and then you start getting like compliments of like, "How did you know that's what I needed? How did you know where to work?" Like I just felt like you were so connected and it like to me the whole entire time. Like, how did you do that? I've never had a massage like that before. So it was just those like little things where people, it was like started off little things like that of like, wow, like you taught somebody or you showed somebody a way that they didn't know before, and they were like, wait a second, I didn't know this was an option, but I like this. Can we do it again? Um,
Amy, I want to ask you, you said, I can't not do it.
yeah, yeah, I
That
can't.
really captivated. Like, I want to hear more about that. And what is it that you can't not do?
Like, I can't not listen to somebody's body.
Right.
Like, like when you when you're like being mindful and you are attuning into the person's body, um, even from the moment you step in the room, sometimes like you're getting different signals from the body from what the person's saying. Um, but like I
Yeah.
can't not, and even if you're like, I can't not tune into the body. Like there's this like respect that's like to the body that wasn't there before, because you're just like, you start feeling like vibrate, like you start feeling more of like the nervous system vibrations and all of this other, and you're just like, oh my, like, oh my goodness, there's a lot more to that knee pain, or there's more to that neck pain. And um so you don't have to like, if somebody wants like a deep tissue massage, like you can still do it, and you can still do that while tuning in and being mindful to the body.
Mhm. Yeah.
um so
Was there something different that you did after the first workshop when you had that transformative experience, right? Was
yeah,
there something different that you did that allowed those clients that were talking to let go and relax, or what changed in the actual session?
yeah, so what changed was that I became more still, I slowed down, and
Mm,
I paused, and I just held space. And even though, that feels like uncomfortable sometimes, because we're taught, don't take your hands off of somebody, or you have to make this all connected and flowing. And, but when you pause, when you be still, you can feel their body just kind of surrender,
mm,
right? Like you can feel it. And so I was like, just trust the process. Just trust it. Doesn't matter
mm,
how I feel, just trust it. And and I so that's what I started doing differently, was just adding, going slower, um waiting for an invitation, pausing, holding space, and just feeling their body be like, okay, pause, good time to pause, okay, good time to start. And just trying to be like in tune to what their body was telling me to do.
That's really
um
beautiful. That's really beautiful. So, in essence, what we're teaching in the class is that you go to, in massage school, you start from one place. You usually have a routine, start at the head, end up at the feet,
mhm,
whatever the routine is. But in this work, it's not that. It's a place where you walk up to the table, greet your client, you connect to your client on a subliminal level, really. And it's through your curiosity that you
mhm,
surrender to. And it's
mhm.
your curiosity that brings you through. And then you let your intuition take you to what's happening, what's going on in this body. And then finally, it's that loving higher energy source
Mhm.
you're bringing into your work that the client is feeling this amazing, amazing transmission of energy. And that's
Yeah,
what it boils down to.
yeah. That, you said it better than I could. Yes. Yeah.
So for the last year, you've been offering, including this in your
Mhm.
work, and maybe even changing some of the way that you're doing your work. What's happening for those clients?
They're actually, I can't say like I know everything about everybody, but the ones who vocalize and tell me, um, they're actually seeing results. Like they're, you know, they're yeah, they're actually seeing results. They're seeing chronic pain that has persisted for years, like actually go away. Or even if it's temporary because something else happened in life and it got triggered again, but at least in the like they're actually like, wow, I came here because my muscles hurt, but now my muscles don't hurt anymore, or that pain doesn't hurt anymore. But now I'm coming because this is helping my anxiety.
Mm.
This is helping my mental health. Like they're actually noticing that it is more than just structural, and that it is more of like a like it's dimensional. So they're like, I didn't know that I could get this out of a massage.
Mhm.
But
That's lovely. Has it changed your relationships with your clients
yes,
and your, yeah, yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
I feel like you kind of develop like more authentic or deeper relationships with clients, like more even like trust on both ends. It's like clients now like will come in and be like basically, I don't need to tell you anything. I just want to lay on the table. You just do your thing, do whatever you've got to do, and like I trust you. And then so like that, like it builds like reciprocal, like, okay, I trust my clients better because they trust me, but they also trust me because I'm trusting them.
Mm.
So I feel like that has been a big turning point too, of like a mutual respect and a mutual trust. And then they, so, and it's more of like a progression. They see it as more of like, this is, I'm adding it in, like I need, or not need, but they're adding it in, like this is good for my health, or this is good self-care, or I have other goals. And sometimes their goals change of why they're coming. So I don't know if that answers your question.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Um, I think this might be a good moment for us to take a pause and maybe change gears a little bit when we come back in our next episode. I want to remind you about something that you said maybe in a social media post or something. I'm just going to plant a little seed for you now that I want to remind you about and get your take on. It was really pretty powerful for us as facilitators of the class. But I also hear you sort of referring back to it without actually talking about how it changed you. And then we'll talk a little bit about how you feel like you changed from this work in a personal
Okay.
level. Yeah. Okay. So let's be back with more with Amy. The series has been made possible by our hosts Richard Mack and Madalena Ferrara. Our production team, Mitch Lieber, Fernanda Rojas, and me, and our guests, whose willingness to share their personal stories is courageous and vital to educating the public and creating change. You're all leaders with heart. Thanks to our sponsors, Mind Your Body and Somatic Mindfulness. Find them both on the web at myb.llc and somaticmindfulness.co. Find any of our guests on the Somatic Mindfulness website. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and join us again for more interesting, compelling, and heartfelt stories.